But every breath was a painful, wheezing struggle. We were miles from any real help. It was just me, my limited supplies, and the symphony of the jungle. I worked quickly, my fingers slick with sweat and blood. I cleaned the wound as best I could, the antiseptic stinging, but Kale barely flinched. Tea was fading. The jungle's sounds, usually a comforting backdrop, now felt menacing. The chattering of monkeys, the drone of insects. It all seemed to be watching, waiting. I focused on the task at hand, stitching the wound with a curved needle. My movements practiced and steady despite the tremor in my hands. The light was failing, long shadows stretching like grasping fingers across the forest floor. Suddenly, a sound cut through the noise, sharp and unnatural. Snap, a twig breaking. It was close, too close. My head shot up, eyes scanning the dense undergrowth. It wasn't an animal. The rhythm was all wrong. It was a footstep, then another. Bipedal. Deliberate, my heart hammered against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat against the jungle's rhythm. We weren't supposed to be in this sector. It was marked as uninhabited on all our charts. Kale's eyes widened, a flicker of fear replacing the glassy haze of pain. He had heard it too. I slowly reached for the heavy machete we used for clearing brush, its weight a small comfort in my hand. "Stay quiet," I whispered, my voice barely audible. The footsteps stopped. The silence that followed was even more terrifying than the sounds had been. Every nerve in my body was on fire. Was it a lost tribe, a rival expedition, or something else entirely? The air grew thick with unspoken tension. I held my breath, listening, waiting for the jungle to reveal its secret. It wasn't threatening, but it was profoundly unsettling. Who would be whistling out here? The footsteps resumed, closer now, circling our small clearing. My training screamed at me to be cautious, but my intuition told me something different. There was no malice in her eyes, only a quiet confidence. She made a soft clicking sound with her tongue and pointed again. Taking a leap of faith, I slowly lowered the machete. I gestured for her to come closer. She knelt beside Kale, her small hands surprisingly steady. She crushed the leaves into a dark, fragrant pulp and, with a gentle motion, began to apply it over my stitches. The sharp herbal scent filled the air. Almost instantly, the angry redness around Cale's wound began to fade. The tense lines on his face softened, and his breathing, which had been so ragged, deepened and evened out. It was like watching a miracle unfold in forward. The girl worked in silence, her expression serene. Who was she? Where did she come from? Once she was finished, she simply stood up, gave me a small, knowing smile, and melted back into the jungle as silently as she had appeared. We never saw her again. But that night, Cale's fever broke, and by morning, he was on the slow road to recovery. The jungle holds many secrets, and I had just encountered one of its most mysterious and merciful. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more tales from the edge of the map.